And your Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Illinois Tech and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or other abusive comments and actions directed at the officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and may be grounds for removal from school field. Fans, a reminder, permission to enter the field or bench areas are restricted to student athletes, coaches, game officials, game day staff, and authorized personnel. Unauthorized individuals violating this policy will be subject to removal from school field.
Back here at Stuart Field in Chicago, we're getting ready for match two of our doubleheader. Earlier today in women's soccer action, it was Illinois Tech with a 1-0 victory over the MSOE Raiders, an 86th minute goal scored by Tavessa Vatalia, allowing the Scarlet Hawks to get the 1-0 win in match one of our doubleheader. Coming up in match two, men's soccer action, the Scarlet Hawks get ready to play host to the MSOE Raiders. Chris Rouse here at Stewart Field, where once again Illinois Tech comes in with a record of 7-5-3. They are 4-3-2 on the season, getting ready to go up against an MSOE team that's 7-1-1 in conference play, second in the NAC. They come in with an overall record of 10-3-2. Meanwhile, MSOE MSOE, they come into this matchup against Illinois Tech having never lost against the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. This will be the ninth all-time meeting between the two teams. Illinois Tech 0-7-1 all-time against MSOE. They've lost the last four, including a 4-0 loss at the hands of the Raiders last November, on November the 3rd, 2024, up in Milwaukee. The one time Illinois Tech was able to actually get it on the board was in the tie, the 1-1 tie back on October 13th, 2021. On that day, it was Mateo Sanchez with a goal in the 78th minute that allowed Illinois Tech to end up with the draw that day. Zach Thompson had a goal for MSOE. Meanwhile, today, it'll be the two head coaches, Rob Harrington in his seventh season with this MSOE Raiders team. Expect a defensive focus in this second matchup, much as we saw in the first matchup. One of the better players in the conference is Adrian Manchado, number 33 for MSOE. He's been a key name all season long when you look at the NAC Defensive Player of the Week award recipients this season. And today he'll go up against the Illinois Tech team that really wants this win. They're fifth in the conference. They're chasing MSOE. And for Illinois Tech, led by second-year head coach Marlon McKenzie, this could be a bit of one of those statement wins for the Scarlet Hawks as they gear up for NAC conference tournament play. We're getting ready to get the introductions of the starting lineups, and then we'll kick it off in just a moment. The Raiders have their red uniforms on. The Scarlet Hawks have their white uniforms on. And in just a moment, we'll get things going here from Stewart Field between the Scarlet Hawks and the Raiders after this. Back here at Stewart Field, we're getting ready for the introductions of the Raiders and the Scarlet Hawks for NCAA Division III men's soccer.
A junior midfielder for only Maryland, number 5, Michael Warman. A junior midfielder from Huntley, Illinois, number 6, Austin Killen. A junior forward from Naperville, Illinois, number 10, Nico first-year midfielder from Glencoe, Illinois, number 15, Itar Hussein. A first-year midfielder from Naperville, Illinois, number 17, Lachlan Ladd. A senior defender from Wooddale, Illinois, number 18, Alex Lang. A senior midfielder from Orland Park, Kansas, number 21, Tanner Celia. A junior defender from Madison, Wisconsin, number 25, Peter Yelly. A junior defender from Madrid, Spain, number 33, Adrian Manchado. And a senior goalkeeper from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, number 40, Asher Harris. The Raiders are coached by Rob Harrington in his 7th season, assisted by Caden Pruitt, Derek Murray, Joe Shaw, John Mullihan, and Lucas Shawaka. And now, for the Illinois Techs, Scarlet Hawks. A junior goalkeeper from New York, number 1, David Rodriguez. A first-year forward from San Jose, Costa Rica, number 2, Mateo Sakaira. A senior defenseman from Plainfield, Illinois, number 3, Matthew Watson. A senior midfielder from El Dorado Hills, California, number 4, Ben Mel. A senior midfielder from Zaragoza, Spain, number 6, Adrian Cucurado. A junior midfielder from Peoria, Illinois, number 8, Paul Balea. A sophomore forward from Parker, Colorado, number 9, Cal Grant. A senior midfielder from Warsaw, Poland, number 10, Adam Lazarevich. A junior midfielder forward from Gelsonburg, Maryland, number 17, Tomas Revelado. A junior defenseman and midfielder from Bensonville, Illinois, number 25, Dominic Krupa. A junior defenseman from Plainfield, Illinois, number 35, Matthew Ippolito. The Scarlet Hawks are coached by Marlon McKenzie in his 2nd season, assisted by Azir Tahir, Julian Soto, and Mateo Sanchez.
The Raiders and Scarlet Hawks are getting ready to get underway here at Stuart Field. The Raiders in the red uniforms with the white numbers, black trim with white swipes on the side. Illinois Tech in the white uniforms with the red numbers with red trim on the front of the uniform. Their keeper will have the purple jersey. Meanwhile, the keeper in the black is for MSOE. That's Asher Harris, the senior out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Number 40, Asher Harris is in net. In the field, the Raiders will line up like this for head coach Rob Harrington in his 7th season. Here's the numerical starting lineup in the field. Number 5, Michael Rohrman. Number 6, Austin Killen. Number 10, Nico Pica. Number 13, Danny Aranda. Number 15, Datar Usini. Number 17, Lachlan Ladd. Number 18, Alex Lamb. Number 21, Tanner Celio. Number 25, Peter Yelly. And number 33, Adrian Manchado, one of the top players in the conference, has been a defensive player of the week a couple of times this season in NAC men's soccer. He'll lead the way for MSOE, and of course, once again, Asher Harris is the keeper in net. For Illinois Tech, led by Marlon McKenzie in his 2nd season as head coach since coming over from the University of Chicago, he will have the following players in the field numerically. Number 2, Mateo Sakairo, the Scarlet Hawks leader in goals. Number 3, Matthew Watson. Number 4, Ben Mill. Number 6, Adrian Kogayudo. Number 8, Paul Balea. Number 9, Cal Graham. Number 10, Adam Lazarovich. Number 17, Tomas Rebalado. Number 25, Dominic Krupa. And number 35, Matthew Hippolito. The keeper will be number 1, David Rodriguez. As now Mateo Sakaira, the Scarlet Hawks leader in goals, will kick us off, and we're underway here in this men's soccer matchup, NCAA Division III men's soccer action here on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. We are underway. I'm Chris Rouse, and we are glad that you're joining us here for match 2 of the day. The Scarlet Hawks looking for a clean sweep on this Scarlet Hawk Red Raider doubleheader. 1-0 in match 1. Tavessa Vathalia with a goal in the 86th minute, her 5th of the season, helping the Scarlet Hawks get their 10th conference win. Scarlet Hawks now unbeaten with 10-0 in women's action. Here on the men's side, 4-3-2. MSOE 7-1-1 in conference play. It's Peter Yelly with the ball for MSOE as the Raiders try to salvage this trip down to Chicago. It's the Milwaukee School of Engineering. The Chicago versus Milwaukee rivalry continues. It's been a pretty heated week in other sports. Well, sort of, as now the Scarlet Hawks and Red Raiders continue to mix it up on behalf of Chicago versus Milwaukee. A lot of talk about L's this past week, and between Chicago and Milwaukee, both of these teams looking to avoid a L on their record. In MSOE, they've been on a great job of avoiding them in recent outings. 5-match win streak for MSOE, a 4 consecutive matches with at least 6 goals for the Raiders, 5 straight matches with 3 during the win streak. Lazarovic tries to switch a pass, and there he is, Manchado. One of the key players in the NAC, been one of the defensive players of the week multiple times this season, has Adrian Manchado for the MSOE Raiders. He's been a solid enforcer on that back line, and I think that was something we mentioned, something I went over a lot in that women's matchup, that back line. Manchado heads up that back line here for MSOE. Long pass here as Illinois Tech switched one. Kogayudo passes out, a chance to go for the ball and go for the goal in front of the net for Graham, and the ball's cleared out. Cal Graham has Illinois Tech's most recent home goal. That occurred 2 weeks ago against the Marion Sabres in a 1-1 tie. And that was a matchup where Illinois Tech came maybe bounced the other direction from getting out with a 2-1 win. They had a sliding attack. I believe it was Christian Garcia that went for the goal on that Saturday afternoon, and he just hit it off the post. And unfortunately for Illinois Tech, they couldn't get the breathing room at the time, would have put them up 2-0. And as a result, it was Marion that afternoon, went down, got the tying goal on a long-distance shot, and it was a 1-1 tie. Makes a huge difference for Illinois Tech in the standings. Scarlet Hawks sitting in 5th place right now, going up against the second-best team in men's soccer in the MSOE Raiders. MSOE second place on both sides of the ledger. Second place in women's soccer, second place in men's soccer. But on the men's side, this is a team that lately they've asserted themselves offensively with their 6 goals with 6 goals in each of the last 4 matches. Adrian Manchado, we continue to mention him, the defensive player of the week, reigning defensive player of the week, 2-time reigning defensive player of the week, that is. Asher Harris scoops the ball up here. Meanwhile, on the Illinois Tech side, Sakaira with his goal scoring ability, he's been key for Illinois Tech this season. Ball played down to the other end with Rodriguez. Along the sideline, there's Manchado again. He steps up and dispossesses Balea. Ball goes out of play, and it'll be an Illinois Tech throw-in. Manchado, the junior out of Spain, goes 5'9", 155 pounds. Listed as a defenseman for MSOE, but the way he plays, he sort of staggers like that second line and the last line there. He's definitely key on that back line, but his activity, you see him play in the midfield. MSOE with 5 on the back line now as Watson gets ready to take the free kick for Illinois Tech. Watson sends the ball long. Nothing but red jerseys there for MSOE as the Raiders send the ball out. Pass goes in. Ball ping-ponged around off of a couple of players' heads. And then Ben Mill with the first solid touch after the ping-pong activity, or the pinball activity. Aranda to Rohrman. And Aranda, actually I thought he gave that to Rohrman. I think he might have given Rohrman a brief touch and then got it right back. And now MSOE pushes the other way with Killen. Here's Manchado. Manchado, good use Good use of that outside space. A good turn there to avoid Cal Graham. And the ball played back for MSOE. Yelly sends it long. He's got Ladd. Lachlan Ladd going one-on-one here with Paul Balea. Balea goes down. And a whistle. Foul goes against MSOE. Good matchup there from Ladd and Balea. Balea, the junior out of Peoria. Ladd, a first-year player out of Naperville, Illinois. MSOE coaching staff here getting involved with some of the activity here. I don't think they were just getting an explanation on the foul there. As now Illinois Tech with Watson sends it down the pitch. Ball won by Illinois Tech. And now played to the outside. They set up Rebellato. Rebellato plays the ball back to Mel. And the ball taken away by MSOE with Pika. Nico Pika. Pika also awarded one of the Players of the Week earlier this season in the NAC. A lot of MSOE names when you look at that NAC Weekly Player of the Week, whether it be offensive or defensive. Pika's been on there for offensive. Manchado's been on there for defensive. So they have a number of players that have made their difference in conference play. Bit of a misstep play there for Sakaira. He's been one of the guys on the list for Illinois Tech this season. He really tried to knock it down by stepping on it. He just outright missed it. And now MSOE will play it back the other way. Ball played patiently to David Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the purple checkered goalkeeper uniform here. Bit of a racing style look on the Illinois Tech keeper look. We've had that one for a few years around campus. Ball sent down here for Sakaira. And it goes out of play for an Illinois Tech throw in. Paul Balea. Balea to throw it in. And now Illinois Tech playing it right back to Balea where they started. Balea sends it into the penalty area. No help or support for Illinois Tech. And now MSOE, basically an easy turnover there off the wide pass. Illinois Tech swarming the ball out near midfield. As a result, they take it away and play it back to their keeper, Rodriguez. Both teams with a bit of a lengthy filling out process here. I feel like we saw that in the women's match as well. Lengthy filling out process, but of course that was a matchup which ended in a 1-0 score. This one, of course, still in the first, here in the 9th minute, still in the first 10 minutes of the matchup. Neither team really getting a feel for the ball just yet. Manchado may be the most confident player via the eye test thus far. Ball played to the penalty area. Chance to go for goal for MSOE. And it's sent out of play for a corner. Nico Pika was the intended target of that pass from Yelly. And when the ball went in, Illinois Tech able to send it away. And here comes the corner. That was just a good read by Rodriguez, able to get there on the backside. Illinois Tech had help defensively. As now here's Rohrman to set up for the corner. Datari Useni is in deep on the net. Could be a front post with Celio. Celio does go for the front post. And then the ball is knocked down and sent out of play, or sent up the pitch by Illinois Tech, almost out of play by Cal Graham. Useni was in deep. You could see Celio sort of get a running start towards that front post. It was a low liner. Maybe if it had a little more air underneath, it gave Celio a chance to get there, maybe guide it. But when he got there, ball taken away. Ball taken away here by Manchado. Lachlan Ladd. His pass in the middle of the pitch for Useni was taken away. Sakaira, good turn to the outside around Manchado. Sakaira sends one in, but it's a bit of a rifle, and it's going to go wide to the outside right corner. Coach Marlon McKenzie telling Mateo Sakaira to use his hands there. I think he meant to clear the space there, try to get that defender off of him so he can get pretty good ball into the air. You could see the play for Illinois Tech. It was developing. They had the charge on the backside. But Sakira put so much on that pass. It was a rocket that went over towards that northeast corner of Stuart Field. Ball possessed now by MSOE. Aranda. Aranda gives it up to Asher Harris, senior out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Harris plays it up the pitch, and Hippolito sends it back the other way. Celio. Celio had a brief touch here. Celio chasing it now as Sakira takes it away off the missed contact from Ladd. Graham goes down for Illinois Tech. Meanwhile, Manchado comes out of traffic with possession for MSOE. Rohrman over to Pika. Bit of a mistouch there from Useni. You can see it on his face immediately as he turned. Sort of had that look of frustration on his face after the contact. Krupa. He'll try to send it down for Illinois Tech. Instead, he sends it out. It'll be an MSOE throw. Rohrman over to Yelly. Here's Lamb. Here's Yelly trying to play the ball at the pitch for MSOE. MSOE wants quicker movement. The coaching staff wants quicker movement because they see Illinois Tech is setting up the pressure before MSOE can set up their plan of attack. You get a foul here and a lead to MSOE having a free kick. This would be a pretty favorable spot for MSOE. Not exactly the best spot for a free kick. But from this spot, you could play the ball to either post. They've got Celio out wide. He could play towards that back post, and you can send Useni to the front post here. They also have Rohrman. Rohrman will fake it, and it is sent in. It's sent towards that back post where Celio is charging in by Pika. And Illinois Tech clears it away. Rebellato looking for Graham. Had to bounce off of Graham's foot off that first touch. And now MSOE, the ball just would have spinning like a top out near midfield. And now MSOE takes possession. Yelly over to Aranda. That was a funny spin out near midfield. You can sort of see it spinning spinning towards the crown of the field. As you know, out near midfield, usually higher than the sidelines on the field. Similar to a soccer and American football field. As now here is Illinois Tech. Playing it to the outside to Rebellato. And now it's sent out by MSOE. Ben Mill. Mill plays it back to Hippolito. Illinois Tech, Coach McKenzie saying you wanted that action a little bit higher, meaning further towards the net, a little bit closer to the net. So that way you can at least create something that could be more dangerous towards the goalkeeper Harris if you get a play to the net. And Coach McKenzie saying he didn't like that space, that he wanted that space earlier. As now MSOE takes it away here. So MSOE with their opportunity to make something happen with the ball, playing on their back line. They send the ball along. That's going to go over the head of Useni and right to the keeper, Rodriguez. Useni and Ladd with pretty good runs. Useni right down the middle of the pitch. Ladd was on the far side, over on the west side of the pitch here, right in front of the broadcast location. He had a pretty good run towards the net. Watson. Watson playing up the pitch. Pressure coming from Ladd. Watson tries to center the ball. Lazarovich comes for the ball, but unable to win possession. Coach McKenzie wanted the pressure. Illinois Tech now will get to throw it. Malaya throws it to Sakira. Oh, Sakira right off the shoulder. Sends that one right towards the MSOE sideline. And now Manchado will throw it in. Played 15 minutes here in the 16th minute. Still no score between the Scarlet Hawks and Raiders in men's soccer action. If you're just joining us, this is match 2 of our Scarlet Hawks Raiders soccer doubleheader. Illinois Tech won on the women's side with a 1-0 victory to Vesa Vatalia with a goal in the 86th minute, allowing the Scarlet Hawks to get a win over the second-best team in the NAC standings. So Illinois Tech remaining unbeaten at 10-0 in conference play. Handed MSOE their first conference loss on the women's side at 8-1-1. Here on the men's side, MSOE 7-1-1 in conference play, and they get the corner here. Ball sent towards the back post. That was headed away by Killen and run down by Rohrman. It's now sent in by Ladd. Ball cleared out by Illinois Tech and repossessed by MSOE with Pika. Pika with a bit of a collision there with Sakaira. A couple of solid offensive players there, to say the least. Two of the better players in the NAC, in Sakaira and Pika. Asher Harris out of the penalty area. And he'll play it over to Aranda. MSOE with a switch pass over to Lamb. Here's Yelly. Rohrman. Back to Yelly. And really just a lot of switch passing along this back line for MSOE. Slowly played up the pitch to Lachlan Ladd. Yelly. He's got two guys on the run. It's the same two guys that were on the run earlier for MSOE with Ucini and Ladd. And Rodriguez able to turn it back again. Both of these teams really trying to figure each other out here. Not a lot of action in either team's attacking third thus far. And action resuming here in the 18th minute with Illinois Tech pushing near midfield. Rebellato. Rebellato on the run. That's a good run by Rebellato. He got past Pika. Pika did a good job to put his body out in front of Rebellato. This would be a foul as both go down near the end line, and the foul will go against Rebellato in the goal kick. Actually may not even be a foul here. This may just be an outright goal kick as Harris plays it in. Rebellato still having words with the official. Meanwhile, on the other side of the pitch, Graham with an outright tackle. So Graham tackles Lamb. And the MSOE coaching staff, they were saying, let's get it going quicker. That's pretty much what we've been hearing the last few minutes from this MSOE sideline. Let's get into the motions quicker to combat that Illinois Tech pressure as now Rodriguez punches the ball out of play. So MSOE, it's all about moving quicker, trying to evade and elude that Illinois Tech pressure. Meanwhile, for Illinois Tech offensively, it's really more about tightening up some of their passes. They've had plays in situations where on the attack they could set up for the goal but haven't been able to finish. And now it's going to be MSOE with the corner. With, again, Ucini is in the net. Celio could be going to that front post, and it is to Celio. Pika is going to watch Rebellato win possession for Illinois Tech. And now the Scarlet Hawks will throw it in. Coach Roshane Ellison walking around here on the Illinois Tech sideline following a 1-0 win in match 1 over MSOE. So the Scarlet Hawks continuing their quest for back-to-back NAC conference championships. Another trip to the NCAA tournament, of course, is what they have in mind. Here on the men's side, Illinois Tech taking the free kick here, trying to hang tough in the NAC conference standings. Illinois Tech currently in 5th place. You're going up against the 2nd place team in the conference. This is a huge match for Illinois Tech, a chance to take down one of those teams directly in front of you and give yourself a tiebreaker, should that come into play. And, of course, with Illinois Tech going against MSOE, MSOE has already clinched the spot. in the NAC Conference Tournament. Illinois Tech looking to join them, but clearly a lot of work to go for the Scarlet Hawks. Krupa to Ben Mill. Manchado's head got a piece of it there. And then Machado won possession for MSOE. So much activity from 33 in red. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech defensively, a stop out near midfield, that was Kogayudo. Here's Kogayudo charging the ball. The pass goes in. It was a shot for Graham. Ball run down again by Illinois Tech. Another chance to go for goal. That went high off the fence from Lazarovich. Lazarovich did a good job charging in, but he just sent that one a little bit high. Illinois Tech had a couple of quality shot opportunities. One didn't like the angle, the other, Lazarovich just sent it too high. Out of play for an Illinois Tech throw-in here. Throw-in will come from Hippolito, the junior out of Plainfield, Illinois. See if he plays this one forward. Illinois Tech, they don't really have a lot of support for this throw. Hippolito into Rebellato. And now the ball receives a couple of headers. Sakaira goes down, bit of a late whistle, but it is called on Alex Lamb. So the foul on Lamb, no card. But Illinois Tech again. Well, Illinois Tech now will get a free kick in a favorable spot. This is about where MSOE was not too long ago on one of their free kicks. Which, once again, not one of the best spots, but a favorable spot. You can make a few moves to either post from this spot. But let's see where Illinois Tech tries to go for let's see the method of attack for the Scarlet Hawks as they try to open the scoring here. Rebellato and Balea, the two players out wide on the ball. It's Balea who sends it in himself. He goes for goal, and he sends it wide right of the net. Balea tried to do it himself that time. Ends up unsuccessful for Illinois Tech. And we'll get our first sub of the afternoon, and it will be from MSOE, number 9, Stephen Thomas, the 5'10", 160-pound sophomore out of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Comes on for the first time. He'll replace Lachlan Ladd, the first-year player out of Naperville. A few pretty good runs from Ladd this far in this matchup. He and Useni at least getting down the pitch for MSOE, but unsuccessful in scoring. Meanwhile, Thomas this season, a pair of goals and a pair of assists. That's in 15 matches played for MSOE this season. So Thomas now, with his entry here, has played in all 16. Hippolito sends the ball back the other way for Illinois Tech to Cal Graham. Graham and Manchado battling for the ball. Now Balea sends it back. Krupa sends the ball out wide. Hippolito. Illinois Tech really just getting everybody a touch here as they just try to control the ball for a while. Neither team has really had solid control of possession as we get ready to conclude this 25th minute. Ball sent long. And the ball possessed by Celio. It's a good touch for Thomas, who just came onto the pitch. Thomas was working against Hippolito, but he passed it out. Killen over to Manchado. Manchado, good lift, sends it into the penalty area for Thomas, and that ball goes long and wide. Quick deflection there from Aranda, sort of messed up the play for Illinois Tech, but it was run down by Sakaira after all. Sakaira and Aranda going into that corner. Sakaira kept it in, and now MSOE will play it on. Coach McKenzie calling for the pressure from the forwards from Illinois Tech, so that's sort of been one of the main things we've been hearing out of Coach McKenzie, that press You hear him yell every time the back line of MSOE gains possession. Battle out near midfield with Pika. Pika went up against Watson. It's Illinois Tech that comes away with it thanks to Watson. Balea. Balea with a long switch pass. Sakira wasn't on side, so he'll have to let that one go. Sakira is also now just falling to the ground out on the field, holding a right ankle. But you see Sakira, I think he was trying to signal that his leg was hurt, so Sakira will come off the pitch for Illinois Tech. As now we will see. So actually, yeah, the clock is continuing to run here. I'm not sure if this is a water break or not. As now, yeah, both teams just walking off the pitch here. I'm not sure. I thought maybe this was a water break, as now Sakira was being checked on by the Illinois Tech coaching staff. And one of the officials, he didn't understand why everyone was walking off the pitch. That made two of us. As now the official blew the whistle, everyone ran back out as Sakira came off the pitch for Illinois Tech. Sakira came off the pitch, and now it's Theo Balea, number 12. He's in there for Illinois Tech, the 5'7" first-year player out of Peoria. Ball high into the air, and now possessed by Lamb for MSOE. Thomas passed it outside. MSOE working with Aranda now. Aranda's done a good job defensively working against Sakira, who at the moment is being checked out by Mika Sanchez, the athletic trainer for Illinois Tech on the sideline. Back line for MSOE is Yelly in possession. This is usually where Coach Marlon McKenzie has been calling for the pressure for Illinois Tech. Whenever he sees that back line for MSOE gain possession, so it wants Illinois Tech to force those defenders to make accurate passes. Meanwhile, here's Stephen Thomas offensively for MSOE in the attacking third. Thomas played it to the outside. That was a great sliding effort by Hippolito to take away what would have been a pretty good pass for MSOE. They would have gotten to that inline, would have put them in position where they could pass it or maybe put it back in front, try to center it for a goal. But as it was taken away. They try it again, actually, and Hippolito stepped in front. He also got some help that time. I believe that was Koga Yudo who stepped out in front. MSOE again. MSOE trying to play through their back line. But once again, they're doing that thing for MSOE where strategically they'll have Manchado, who is actually a member of the back line, but he's sort of playing at he's sort of playing midfield right now. However, as the ball continues to go to that opposite side of the pitch, Manchado is not really a factor offensively for the Raiders. And he'll throw it in here. So now this is actually the side of the pitch where if you're MSOE, you can get Manchado involved offensively. But MSOE has been unable to really get anything going on this side of the pitch. It's the west side of Stuart Field. Here's Watson. He plays it back to Hippolito. And over to Rebellato. Hippolito and Rebellato back and forth, and now Hippolito sends it down. And a good turn by Lazarevic. Lazarevic with space to work. Plays it outside, a chance to go for goal. The strike from Graham right into the hands of the keeper, Asher Harris. Hands out, make them soft, easy catch and save for Harris. And now a foul as Aranda is tripped up. Love to see that, see the sportsmanship there between Lazarevic and Aranda, both shaking hands there as to say that wasn't done on purpose, just intense competition. Ball played up the pitch here for Braden Smith, number 37 for MSOE. He snuck in, sort of snuck in during that, what we thought was a bit of a water break there. So MSOE did have a few players that were on the sideline waiting. I think they were going to wait until after we thought was a water break at that moment, but as a result, Smith came into the matchup, the sophomore out of Lake Zurich, Illinois. Krupa. Switch pass out across the midfield stripe. And the possession won by Illinois Tech. Bit of a mishandle. Now the ball goes into the penalty area. As now here's Lazarevich. Balea. Back to Lazarevich. Illinois Tech, a lot of back and forth passing. As now Watson goes to Balea. Balea has it taken away by Manchado. Manchado plays it up the pitch. Krupa with a bit of a side kick there. And now Yelly knocks it down to Aranda. Played up the pitch again for MSOE. Ball sent in. They're looking for Useni. Useni has just had a number of unfortunate touches, in these last couple of minutes, where he's been out in front of Illinois Tech and just the wrong touch. There's a shot for MSOE as Celio sends it wide, and it'll be a goal kick. Owen Gendrich, number 8, comes on the pitch for the first time, and Braden Roth comes in as well, number 20. So 8 and 20 on now for MSOE. It appears Manchado will come off the pitch, and Useni will be the other. MSOE also trying to filter Juan Pablo Escobar into the matchup here, but it looks like he'll have to wait until the next stop. As now Illinois Tech will play it up the pitch. Watson sends it down. And just like that, Escobar into the matchup for MSOE. So a brief wait for Escobar. And he'll replace Nico Pica. MSOE throw in, it'll be Roth. Roth just came in on the previous substitution. And now MSOE with Yelly in possession. Yelly over to Rohrman. Aranda knocks it down. And Aranda now will play it over to Yelly. Yelly looking for Roth, and that's sort of where Manchado has been all matched up. But this is one of the first times we've seen MSOE really try to switch it. They do it this time with Roth, and it leads to the corner. MSOE, they've had pretty good runs all over the pitch with Ladd, Manchado, and Useni. We finally get one here. We get one here from Roth. But MSOE still unable to take advantage of those pretty good runs, of those solid runs. And this matchup still scoreless as time continues to tick in this first half. 34th minute continues with this corner from MSOE. Ball sent in by Rohrman. Rohrman actually runs it down. Oh, a chance to go for a bicycle kick. No good. That one's off the crossbar on the rebound. And the third try, no good for MSOE. 3 great opportunities for the MSOE Raiders. They had a bicycle kick opportunity, which ended up with a miss. But the rebound off the bicycle should have been the one that went home and hit the crossbar. And then the third try over the net off the fence at Stuart Field. Christian Garcia, number 11, in for the first time for Illinois Tech. He replaces Adam Lazarevich. MSOE now applying the pressure with their forwards and strikers. Hippolito played it over. And now MSOE ping-pongs the ball around. They pinball it around near midfield. Here's Rodriguez on the dive. Neither team really able to gain possession there. And we've now played a strong 35 minutes here at Stuart Field. MSOE in possession again with Roth. Roth looking for Escobar since it's too far out of play. Long throw. Headed into the air by Roth. Ball continuing to go towards that net, and now Harris able to scoop it up for MSOE. Aranda Switch pass over to Lamb. Alex Lamb. The powder blue cleats out there. Passed it off to Yelly. Yelly sends it down. Rodriguez comes out of the penalty area. So he had to play it with his feet. He sends it down the pitch. And it's out of play for an MSOE throw. Here's Yelly. A lot of touches for Yelly as he gives it up to Lamb. Here's Escobar. MSOE trying to reroute their play here. I can hear from the coaching staff find a new spot to run the play. As now Aranda plays it up the pitch. Hippolito knocks the pass down. Hippolito's going to watch it go out of play and a whistle. And it'll be a foul, which will go against MSOE. And Rodriguez. So Illinois Tech will get the free kick on the east side of the pitch here. Coming up in approximately 8 minutes at halftime, we'll recap match 1 of our doubleheader. Illinois Tech with a 1-0 win in women's soccer. We'll go over our first half stats of this matchup, and then we'll go over our NAC scoreboard on both the women's and men's sides of things. All of that coming up at halftime right here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Illinois Tech, that was the home finale for the Scarlet Hawks in women's soccer today. Meanwhile, in men's soccer, they'll be back home on Wednesday, October the 29th. They'll take on the Rockford Regents. It's also the same day we'll have women's volleyball action right here on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. That'll be at the Keating Sports Center when Illinois Tech takes on Benedictine on October the 29th. So a two-sport action here at Stuart Field. That's happened a few times this season with soccer and volleyball. Now here is Illinois Tech. They had the ball, but it's taken away with Celio. Celio sent it to Roth. Oh, that ball just over the hands of Rodriguez. It looked as if maybe he got his hand on it, but if he let it go, couldn't really quite tell. Had a player that ran out in front of my viewpoint as the play developed. The ball sent down. Good run by Roth. Actually, I think it was Roth who sort of ran in front on that other end as Illinois Tech tried to keep MSOE from scoring the goal. Here's Watson. Watson just going to watch the ball roll out of play. And now Illinois Tech will get the goal kick. Troy Siebert, number 32, in for the first time, along with Ajitesh A.J. Kumar, number 34, for the Scarlet Hawks. Nate Gendrich, number 3, in for MSOE as well. He'll replace Aranda. And a bit of the officials blowing their whistles as we have players. Well, we have a special ceremony getting ready to take place at halftime here at Stewart Field, and I think some of the players for the ceremony, I think they may have spilled onto the field or maybe crowded too much of the field level. Not really a lot of space on that sideline here at Stewart Field. So I think the setup sort of the setup for our halftime ceremony maybe crowded the playing field. And action now resumes. Adrian Kogayudo switches it over to Paul Balea. Braden Smith sends the ball out of play. Here's Balea looking for somewhere to go on the throw in. He sends it in. Ball knocked down by Theo Balea. Paul Balea on the pass. Theo Balea gets knocked down. And Illinois Tech now we'll get the corner. Actually, no corner. This will be a free kick. And it will be taken by Kumar. So A.J. Kumar setting up the free kick here. Remember, Illinois Tech, they have Krupa, number 25, on that back post. The likely target here. He goes 6'1". It's sent in, and it is to Krupa on that back post. Good job by MSOE's 25, Yelly, however, to get up there and actually get the header. Ball sent in again by Paul Balea. Siebert runs it down for his first touch of the match. Taken away by Escobar. Juan Pablo Escobar pushing the other way for MSOE. Pretty good battle. Both teams just tackling all over one another, trying to get to the ball. Also, a number of mishandles from both teams. Illinois Tech would have mistouched there, and it leads to this pass out to Roth. Thomas on the pass, sets up Roth. Roth around Kumar. He sort of called Kumar flat-footed. Good help defense over the top by Paul Balea, because Kumar sort of got caught flat-footed. He was frozen, and it made it easy for Roth to go right around him. And then the help defense comes in and knock the ball away. A.J. Kumar, number 34 in white for Illinois Tech, sort of running around in the middle here, trying to figure out who he's going to cover on this corner. It'll be Rohrman again on the corner. MSOE has a man inside the net. It's Gendrich, Owen Gendrich. The ball goes into the net, actually, but over the top of it. And it lands over the top of the net out for a goal kick. Scoreless here at Stuart Field. Scarlet Hawks in possession. Kogayudo sent it down the pitch. Yelly goes down, and Yelly draws a foul. Final 3 minutes of the half. Coming up at halftime, once again, we'll recap our first half of this matchup. We'll recap match one of our doubleheader. We'll go over our NAC women's and men's scoreboard, and also a special Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks athletics ceremony. All of that coming up right here at halftime at Stewart Field. Scoreless at the moment. Let's see if someone can put one on the board here in these final 2 minutes. Krupa unable to handle possession for Illinois Tech. Here's Roth. Roth came in as a reserve, and honestly, the action is picked up offensively for MSOE since Roth has come in. He replaced Manchado. There's a shot off the crossbar. Escobar goes for the header, and then Rodriguez makes the save. Oh, a tough break for MSOE. That one looked like it was earmarked for a goal. It hits the crossbar. It looked like as if maybe it could have bounced down into the goal. Instead, it bounced outside, and Escobar, who had a clear shot at the net, went for the header, but he hit it right towards Rodriguez. Ball sent down for Illinois Tech. That's a long run for Kumar. It's sent out by Roth. Final 100 seconds for this throw-in. Shots 5 for MSOE, 4 for Illinois Tech, both with one on goal. Both teams also with 5 fouls. And in corners, quite the opposite. In the women's match, it was 14-1 Illinois Tech, 5-0 MSOE here in the men's match. Escobar. Oh, Escobar actually kicked that off his own teammate, Celio. And that's going to give Illinois Tech a favorable spot on this throw-in for Garcia as we get ready to get the 1 minute call. Illinois Tech just trying to figure out who's going to throw this ball in here as the clock continues to tick. They've wasted here about 10 seconds just trying to figure out who's going to throw it in. But that could be part of the strategy. Clock continuing to burn here. They wasted just about half a minute just trying to get the throw. Hippolito finally throws it in. Hippolito sends it in. It's knocked down for Siebert. And then cleared out by MSOE. Mel's going to win this race to the ball. And now he'll play it to Krupa. Oh, a bit of a flat pass. He didn't really lead him in either direction. It allowed MSOE to catch up. 15 seconds. You can hear these Scarlet Hawks sidelines since 15 seconds. We got to get it up. Watson's pass goes wide, and that's really just rough handling of the ball for Illinois Tech in the final minute of the half. And we will go to the half scoreless at Stuart Field.
Illinois Tech 0, MSOE 0.
Neither team able to find the back of the net through 45 minutes. 5 shots for MSOE, 4 for Illinois Tech. It's now halftime at Stuart Field. We'll be back with more on the other side of this break. You're watching Illinois Tech men's soccer on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and YouTube Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, as part of our homecoming festivities, we honor the Illinois Tech individual athletes and teams that qualified for NCAA championship competition during their time as Scarlet Hawks. First up, Brad Krieger, cross country. Brad, who received his undergraduate degree in management in 1980, qualified for both the NAIA and the NCAA Division III cross-country championships during his sophomore season in 1977. Brad went on to finish 89th out of 396 runners at the NCAA Division III championships in Cleveland, Ohio on November 12, 1977. Brad currently holds 7th place in the men's school record book in cross country in the 8K competitions. Congratulations, Brad. Our next two athletes represented Illinois Tech swimming and diving in NCAA competition, and they were led by head coach Billy Baffia. First, Megan Burrell. Megan, who received her undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering and her master's of science in engineering in 2022, qualified for the 2022 NCAA Division III championships in the 200-yard butterfly, where Megan finished 26th. Megan is the current women's school record holder in the 50, 100, and 200-yard butterfly events, as well as part of the 200 and 400-yard medley relay team records. Congratulations, Megan. Next is Anna Slaminski. Anna, who received their chemical engineering degree and master's of engineering degree in 2024, was a two-time qualifier for the NCAA Division III championships for the 2020 seasons and the 2023 seasons. Although the 2020 championships were canceled due to the pandemic, Anna did compete in the 2023 championships in the 100-yard breaststroke event and finished 21st nationally. In addition to being the women's school record holder in the 50, 100, and 200-yard breaststrokes, they also hold the school record for the 50-yard freestyle, for the 100 and 200-yard individual medley events, and was also a part of the 200 and 400 medley relay team records. Congratulations, Anna. Our next individual athlete we honor is still an active student at Illinois Tech, Olivia Jamison of track and field. Olivia, coached by head coach Tyler McQuality. Olivia is a five-time qualifier for NCAA Division III championships in the high jump event. Olivia has qualified for the D3 Indoor Championships in 2024 and 25, as well as qualifying for the D3 Outdoor Championships in her first 3 years of competition in 2023, 2024, and 2025. In addition to holding both the school and conference records in the indoor and outdoor high jump events, Olivia also holds the school indoor records in the 60-meter dash, the long jump, the 60 hurdles, and the 4x400 meter relay team, as well as the school outdoor records in the 100 hurdles and the 4x100 and 4x400 meter relay teams. Congratulations, Olivia. Next up are our Illinois Tech team qualifiers. Our first team honoree is the 2021-2022 women's tennis team that was coached by Chris Powell. The women's team finished 16-6 overall that season and finished conference play with a record of 7-2. That earned the squad the number 3 seed in the NAC postseason tournament, where they ran the table, upsetting undefeated Edgewood in the championship match to win the tournament and the team's first NCAA Division III championship berth. The 2021-22 team was led by all-conference players Morgan Colbert, Natalie Hamill, Kylie Hance, and Allison Trang. Congratulations to 2021-22 women's tennis. Our next team honoree, men's tennis, has qualified for the NCAA Division III championships 5 times. The 2019 and 2021 teams, led by two-time NAC Coach of the Year Eric Scanlon, won the NAC regular season and postseason championships to earn NCAA berths in those seasons. The 2022, 2024, and 25 teams, led by three-time NAC Coach of the Year Chris Powell, earned NCAA berths in those seasons, with the 22 and the 24 teams winning both the NAC regular season and postseason championships, while the 2025 squad upset number 1 seed MSOE to claim the conference championship and the NCAA berth this past spring. These 5 NCAA qualifying men's tennis teams produced 3 NAC Players of the Year in Franklin Zhang, Davis Hausman, and Alan Torres, as well as 2 NAC Freshman of the Year players in Paul de Santiago and Nabil Fawaz. Congratulations to men's tennis. Our final honoree is the 2024 women's soccer team led by two-time NAC Coach of the Year, Roshane Ellison. After knocking on the door of the NCAA qualification in the previous seasons, the 2024 squad left no doubt and kicked the door in to earn their team's first NCAA berth. This Scarlet Hawks squad went undefeated in conference play during their regular season at 11-0-1, then advanced to host the NAC championship, where after trailing early to MSOE 1-0, exploded for 6 unanswered goals to clinch the championship and the team's first NCAA berth. But this squad wasn't content just to qualify, as they defeated North Central College and Carnegie Mellon University in the first and second rounds respectively to advance to the Sweet 16. The 2024 team also featured the NAC Offensive Player of the Year in Katie Chismarek, two-time NAC Defensive Player of the Year in Gabriela Baltez, and the NAC Freshman of the Year in Eva Narvarte. Truly a historic season for women's soccer. Congratulations to Women's Soccer 2024 team, and congratulations to all of our NCAA qualifiers.
Halftime at Stuart Field in Chicago. The Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks taking on the MSOE Raiders here at NCAA Division III men's soccer action. Scoreless between the two teams as we get ready for second half action here at Stuart Field. This is the second game of the day between Illinois Tech and MSOE. If you're just joining us in women's action, it was a 1-0 win for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Tavessa Vatalia with a goal in the 86th minute, her 5th of the season, powered the Scarlet Hawks to the victory. As Illinois Tech gets the win, they go to 10-0 in conference play. And now Illinois Tech, with 21 shots in that matchup, they outshot MSOE 21-4. 8 of their 21 shots on goal. 2 of the 4 from MSOE on goal. In fact, all 4 from MSOE came from the same player. Elizabeth Kuhn had all 4 shots for the Raiders in match 1. Illinois Tech also with 13 corners in comparison to 1 for MSOE, as the Scarlet Hawks got the win in their regular season home finale. Pretty fair to expect the Scarlet Hawks to be at home to at least host one of the NAC Conference Tournament games in the first round. Should they go any further than that, Illinois Tech would be expected to have home field advantage the remainder of the way. Elsewhere in NCAA Division III women's soccer action in the NAC, we had Dominican with a 3-1 win over Lakeland earlier today. A couple of goals for Dominican scored by Tia Gar to lead the way as the Stars beat the Muskies. A tie out in River Forest was a 2-2 draw between Wisconsin Lutheran and Concordia University of Chicago as that matchup wrapped up earlier. And then Concordia University of Wisconsin with a 3-2 win over St. Norbert, a pair of goals from Laney Zerkes to lead the way as the Falcons topped the Green Knights. No score updates out of Marion and Benedictine, but elsewhere on the men's side, we've been able to keep up with what's been going on around the NAC. We mentioned how a lot of the matches today, you'll have the women go first, and then in game 2 of the doubleheader, the men will take the pitch. Well, that's not just here, that's elsewhere in the conference. Dominican and Lakeland, their matchup continues in the second half. Dominican with a 2-1 advantage in the 81st minute as they look to try to put Lakeland away. A pair of goals in that matchup from Dominican from Nicholas Parada, so he's leading the way with the brace. He has the 2-1 advantage leading the way for Dominican over Lakeland. Meanwhile, St. Norbert, they lead it 2-0 over Concordia University of Wisconsin. That matchup in the 69th minute. St. Norbert with a pair of goals, one from Davis Vega, and they also got a substitution goal from Kevin Ramirez. So they lead it 2-0 as that matchup continues to carry along as well. Unable to get a score out of Marion and Benedictine on either side of things going on out in Lisle, but Wisconsin Lutheran with a 3-0 advantage over Concordia University of Chicago. That matchup continues to roll along. Matter of fact, that third goal literally just scored by Bogdan Terashenko to give Wisconsin Lutheran the 3-0 advantage going into the 87th minute. Action getting ready to continue here at Stuart Field between the Scarlet Hawks and the Raiders. We are scoreless right now, but after this quick reading of the stats, we'll go over the stats and then we'll take a quick break and then we'll come right back for second half action. Not a lot going on here in the first half. Neither team able to score. 5 shots for MSOE, 1 on goal. 4 shots from Illinois Tech, 1 on goal. 5 corners from MSOE. Both teams with 5 fouls apiece, and 1 offside that was called against MSOE. We'll take a quick breather, and after that breather, we'll be right back with second half action. The teams are starting to pour onto the field. A last few seconds of stretching, and then we'll be back with more here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Both teams back on the field here at Stuart Field in Chicago. We get ready for second half action between the MSOE Raiders and the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Chris Rouse here on the call. Illinois Tech only one more home matchup for the regular season. That final home matchup will be Wednesday, October the 29th. That's when the Scarlet Hawks take on the Rockford Regents right here at Stuart Field. We'll have that for you on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. And also that same day, Illinois Tech women's volleyball action as the Scarlet Hawks take on the Benedictine Eagles. So plenty of sports to come here to wrap up October. But right now, in men's soccer action, we're looking for what could be the game-winning goal. We have to wait to the 86th minute to get it in the first match of the day. Will it be late or will it come at all here in the second matchup as second half action underway between the Raiders and Scarlet Hawks? MSOE in the red uniforms going towards the north goal, so they'll be headed left to right on your screen at home. Illinois Tech in the white uniforms, they'll be headed in the opposite direction. Ben Mill had a quick touch, and he played it back to David Rodriguez. Only 9 total shots in that first half between the two teams, 5 from MSOE, 4 from Illinois Tech. MSOE with the corner advantage, 5-0 in that first half. It's interesting. Think about that and think about how this is a doubleheader. And in match 1, it was 14-1 Illinois Tech on the corner total. Here's Illinois Tech charging towards the net to begin the second half. Rebellato sent one in, and the stop was made right in the middle of the pitch by MSOE's defenders. That was Wiley Wright who got the foot on it out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. Ball sent wide and out of play for a throw. Illinois Tech throw in coming from the east side of the pitch. The lights coming on here at Stewart Field. And now sent down by MSOE all day. Sort of been this big cloud has been sort of swarming over Stewart Field, especially from about the end of the women's match up until now. It's now become prominent enough for the lights to come on here at Stewart Field. We've mentioned how there was a 60% chance of rain in the forecast. Now it says 70%. 69 degrees, not hot, not too hot, not too cold. Actually, very great weather. Great weather for October, especially because it was getting colder earlier in the week. And the Chicago weather, if you've never been in Chicago, that weather, sometimes you really have no clue what you're going to see. It's been cold. We've had heat waves. It's been hot in October. It's been cold in October. Today, a beautiful day, 69 degrees, but that rain, we needed to hold off for at least 42 minutes and counting. Ball goes out of play here for an Illinois Tech throw. Hippolito with Rebellato coming back to provide support. Hippolito threw it in. It went over Rebellato and hit Rohrman in the right shoulder and went out of play. That was an interesting hit off Rohrman because it crossed his body, and here's Rohrman again, this time with a header. Frustration from MSOE players. Iko Pika not too pleased with some of the positions on the strategy here. The throw in to Sakira. Sakira back out there after having his ankle checked in that first half. Rebellato kept it in, and now Sakira knocked it out. And I can actually see Sakira sort of wince as he made contact with the ball, sending it out of play. Now, I'm not sure if that was out of pain or maybe it was frustration. But it did look like he took a funny first step there as he tried to get to the ball. Remember, we mentioned how he had that ankle looked at in the first half. It is his right ankle, so it is his shooting foot. And here is Sakira, but that shooting foot makes the first touch here. Sakira goes for goal. Harris able to knock it down. So maybe he was wincing out of frustration earlier as he looked to be good there going for the goal. Here's Aranda. Aranda actually knocked Hippolito into the ball, and it actually going to favor MSOE. So what could have easily been a foul against Aranda leads to a throw-in. He outright just threw Hippolito down. Hippolito went right into the ball and sent it out of play. Here's Pika. Pika just looking for somebody to throw it into. And he finally finds Useni, but Useni just sends it right along the inline for an Illinois Tech goal kick. Useni and Lachlan Ladd, number 17, we saw them earlier. A number of long runs for MSOE towards the net to try to create opportunities. But as you can tell by our score at the moment, nothing doing for either team. Oh, that was a bit of a flat pass. A few flat passes for Illinois Tech where Rodriguez that time just didn't get enough under it. There's a chance to go for goal for Pika. And that was a good shot, but a save by Rodriguez. Coach Marlon McKenzie saying too casual. That's basically to say too lazy on that pass. As now here's Illinois Tech trying to send it down. Too casual, not being serious enough, not playing the ball, not thinking the defender will make the play. And that's exactly what happened. Pico just outright ran out in front and took the ball over. Harris plays it up to Yelly. Yelly sends it down the pitch. Now, that's another good run. Rodriguez is out of the penalty area. He played it with his head. Escobar goes for goal. And for the second time, he missed the net on a rebound opportunity. Oh, Juan Pablo Escobar. Earlier, it was a header, point blank. He didn't get enough on that one, and it was saved. This one, he struck it, but he just struck it wide right of the net. And that's just two chances for Juan Pablo Escobar to get MSOE on the board. But he comes up empty on both. And honestly, it really just reminds me of the last time Illinois Tech was home. That was 2 weeks ago against Marion. Here's Manchado. He goes for goal. And Rodriguez makes another save. It really just reminds me of the match 2 weeks ago against Marion. Illinois Tech, 1-0 advantage. I believe it was Christian Garcia had a chance to make it 2-0. He shot one off the post. Marion was able to capitalize later and score a goal to get the score leveled at a goal apiece. And as opposed to winning maybe 2-0 or 2-1, Illinois Tech ended up with a 1-1 tie. At this point for MSOE, we get an offside, and now MSOE would take over. Illinois Tech ended with a tie in that 1-1 affair with Marion 2 weeks ago. We're still scoreless here. And in a matchup where it's a scoreless draw to this, if the result holds, you're looking at a scoreless draw. Any striking opportunity towards the net, any shot could make the difference. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, go back and watch the first match of the day. It was Tavessa Vatalia who got a rebound goal for Illinois Tech to win 1-0 in match one. There's a long play for Rebellato. Rebellato was the intended target. Good job by Yelly. Yelly's had one of the better times of possession for an individual today. He's had a number of touches for MSOE. Does a good job of running that ball down to send it out of play. Scarlet Hawk fans, if you want to catch any Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawk athletics events, if you can't catch them live, you can always catch them on YouTube, youtube.com/Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Go to the live tab, all Illinois Tech home events available. youtube.com/Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Scarlet Hawks corner. It's sent in. A good header high in the air for Watson, but he sends it over the net, and that'll be a goal kick. You can see Watson, he met that ball at his highest point, able to get the header on it, but he heads it over the net. And now MSOE in possession with a switch pass. Useni working against Krupa. Here's Michael Rohrman. Rohrman, beautiful through ball, setting up Escobar. Escobar working again against Watson. Escobar down to the end line. Watson got a deflection on it, and it will lead to the corner for MSOE. So Escobar, who's had a couple of quality shots, but has been unable to score, he'll create a corner for the Raiders. This is the 6th corner of the afternoon for MSOE. And also MSOE's 4-match win streak, their 4-match streak of 6 goals is in jeopardy. Ball sent in. Sakira sent it high into the air. It's now played outside. Pika tries to cross it in. Krupa sent it out. Good defense from Mill as well on the ball. Cal Graham running the ball down. And it's sent out for an MSOE throw-in. MSOE has won their last 5 matches. In each of the last 4, they've scored 6 goals. Doesn't appear they'll keep that streak intact, but they can at least extend the win streak itself out to 6. If they could find the back of the net and change the potential result. Illinois Tech 5th in the conference, MSOE 2nd. And here's Adrian Machado. Machado down to the end line. He crossed one in. Aranda got a piece of it. The header went wide behind him, and Rodriguez is going to have to play it with his feet because it's out of the area, and now you bring it in so he can pick it up. So Illinois Tech able to dodge another MSOE scoring opportunity here. MSOE 2nd in the conference. Of course, we mentioned how Illinois Tech 5th. Aurora and St. Norbert sitting in between Illinois Tech and MSOE. Edgewood, MSOE, and Aurora have all clinched their spot in the NAC men's conference tournament. Illinois Tech trying to keep pace with time running down in the NAC men's and women's soccer regular seasons. Illinois Tech will have one more home matchup. That'll be against Rockford on Wednesday, October the 29th. MSOE, switch pass to Yelly. Yelly sends it towards the sideline. Aranda won't get there. That actually go right to Coach McKenzie for a Hippolito throw-in. MSOE, we keep mentioning Illinois Tech versus Rockford. MSOE's next matchup, they'll be off for a week before they see Rockford on October the 25th. So actually, it'll be Rockford versus MSOE before Illinois Tech Rockford on October 29th. It'll be a MSOE Rockford. MSOE will see Rockford on the 25th. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, after this matchup, they'll see Rockford. They'll see Concordia University of Wisconsin. And Illinois Tech really just got to win the ones in front of you if you're the Scarlet Hawks to try to keep pace with what's going on in the men's standing. Useni sends it down. That was a bit of a rocket. He was sort of facing the opposite goal as he sent the ball the other way. Rodriguez sends it down and right back to Harris. Both keepers just going back and forth here. Send the ball down the pitch. Ball taken away by Rohrman. Rohrman looking for Aranda. Instead, he sends it right off the coaching staff. Right to Rob Harrington and the MSOE coaching staff. Harrington in his 7th season as the head coach of MSOE. He's going to get Lachlan Ladd back out there. Ladd started the matchup. Ladd actually is going to have to wait. And now to be actually Well, MSOE, well, they were going to get Ladd in, but the throw came quickly from Datar Useni. Ball sent down the pitch and now offside. Illinois Tech with their keeper, David Rodriguez, the junior out of Newburgh, New York. Went up against the senior out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, number 40, Asher Harris. Krupa to Hippolito. Hippolito sends it down. He's got Rebellato on the run. Rebellato out in front of Rohrman. Good job by Rebellato to play it back to himself. Austin Killen supporting defense for Rohrman, and as a result, MSOE wins possession. Useni. Misconnection on the sliding hit from Useni. Outside pass for Rebellato, who was onside. Harris had to pick him up himself, and he comes up with the ball. That was a very good run for Rebellato. Now another long pass for MSOE. It's Celio. Celio. He remains onside the Celio. He tries to send it in on the cross. He's going to send it wide, and that's going to bend over the touchline, over the end line, actually, for a goal kick. Lachlan Ladd back in. He'll replace Nico Pika. Pika also came out of the matchup in the first half. He came out for a reserve. He'll go back to the sideline for the second time today. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Pika maybe in the final 10 minutes of the matchup. Watson's pass knocked down and now taken away by Escobar. Escobar tries to cross one in. He was looking for Ladd, who just came back onto the pitch. Mill actually beat Aranda to the ball, but Aranda with a very good tackle wins possession. We've played an hour now as Hippolito and Ladd battle for the ball. Hippolito just sent that one perfectly down the field over his own head and everyone else's. Kogayudo, he goes down along with Manchado. And now Illinois Tech wins possession. Long run. They try to set up Rebellato. Harris gets to the ball first. That was Kyle Graham who was trying to set up Rebellato. But Asher Harris beats them both to the ball. Rohrman back to Yelly. MSOE with the ball out near midfield with Manchado. Pair of subs for MSOE getting set to come onto the pitch. Actually, there'll be a pair of re-entries with Thomas and Smith. Ball sent in to the end line. It goes over and out of play. Good job by Rodriguez. He kept on playing through what appeared was going to be a non-whistle there. But it does come. And now Stephen Thomas, number 9. Braden Smith, number 37, back in for MSOE. They'll replace Michael Rohrman. Or actually, no, Rohrman will stay. So Rohrman will stay. And now Celio and Escobar will come off the pitch. We've got a player down. And now Mika Sanchez will have to run out on the pitch to tend to the Illinois Tech player along with Marlon McKenzie. As now, Coach Marlon McKenzie along with Mika Sanchez and one of the officials. It appears they're going to go check on Matthew Watson. So Illinois Tech. So yeah, it appears that Watson was down on the pitch. He'll have to come off for a moment. As now, and it appears so Watson, who was the down player for Illinois Tech, he'll come off via for the mandatory substitution. And that will lead to the junior out of Homer Glen, Illinois, one of the 3 Skibas. It'll be Jake Skiba to come in here. You got Nick Skiba, 14, Zach Skiba, 15, and Jake Skiba's number 16. And it'll be Jake that will come in to replace Watson, as Watson is being taken off the pitch here by, well, not taken off, but assisted off by Mika Sanchez. He is walking off under his own power, as you can see on your screen there. But he will be checked by the training staff. Rodriguez sends the ball down the pitch. And possession won by MSOE. Ball kicked around and then switched to Ben Mill. Mill played it back. Now it's sent down the pitch. And sent down again, this time possessed by MSOE. Aranda plays it back to Rohrman. Switch pass to Manchado. And now Illinois Tech wins possession. Looking for Rebellato. Rebellato a chance to go one-on-one Harris. Oh, he gets knocked down by Rohrman. And no whistle as Rohrman outright just ran right into Rebellato. You can make the case incidental as they got to the same spot. But very rarely do you see a guy get knocked down from behind like that with, let alone, forget a car, no whistle. As now the ball goes out of play. Oh, that's a tough break for Illinois Tech. Rebellato, I think everyone at Stuart Field was waiting for at least a whistle there. But no whistle came, and now Illinois Tech with Rodriguez in possession. Wow, that was just an interesting play. Rohrman just outright ran right into him. It appeared to be incidental. He just couldn't stop on the dime there. But even still, usually you don't see a player go down from behind, being tackled from behind or run into from behind with no whistle. Lazarevic has it on the outside. He tries to lift one to Rebellato. He got it in perfectly. Rebellato has to go to the end line, and Rohrman again causing problems for Tomas Rebellato. That was a good effort by Rohrman that time, as he really just ran right into Rebellato to keep him from getting the potential shot on the net. Manchado almost fell down that time getting to the ball. Now it's Lazarevic. Nice pass from Lazarevic. He sets one up for Graham. Cal Graham passed it over. There's a chance to go for goal right off the fence here at Stewart Field. And it lead to the goal kick from Harris. Braden Roth re-enters the match. Meanwhile, we'll get our first look of the afternoon at Joey LaDuca. LaDuca, the junior out of Naperville, Illinois. They'll replace Datar Usini and Michael Rohrman. So Rohrman, who just had a couple of interesting plays on Rebellato. One questionable, one not questionable at all. That was just a great play. So Rohrman, after making his presence felt on defense, the junior out of Olney, Maryland, will sit on the bench. Aranda to Manchado. They switched Manchado to the west side of the pitch here. Manchado crosses one in. It goes just a little bit too high. Aranda just whiffed on a chance to go for goal, and now it's sent down by Illinois Tech. Ball taken away. Smith and Mail run into one another. Manchado faked as if he's going to make a play on the ball. Now Thomas has to run it down. And it's knocked out of play by Lazarevic. MSOE throw. Manchado into Smith. Ball taken away by Illinois Tech. Sent across the pitch, well out of play, over to some of the fans on the east side of Stewart Field. MSOE throw in. Smith. Oh, he had Graham charging behind him, but he got the ball. He got rid of the ball. One Braden finds the other. Smith finds Roth, but the ball goes out of play. And now Theo Balea comes on for Illinois Tech. Theo Balea, number 12, he'll replace Adam Lazarevic. So Illinois Tech going with a sub late in the matchup here, but once again, you wonder with some of these strikers coming out, you wonder if maybe they're just coming out for now, and you'll probably see them again later. There's a weird deflection for Rebellato, and Rebellato wins possession. He goes one-on-one with Yelly. Now he finds himself double-teamed, taken down by Yelly, and this time Illinois Tech will get the whistle as Rebellato is just outright tackled and taken down by Yelly. And that'll lead to the yellow card against Peter Yelly. As well as Peter Yelly has played all afternoon, that was one situation where he really just sort of got caught in a one-on-one play off of a tough deflection. Rebellato tried to make one move, and then Yelly, who picked him up one-on-one, kind of got caught with his arm extended, and he brought him down. Wiley Wright, number 4, was also there for MSOE to help with the defensive effort from Yelly, but it ended up being a foul and the yellow card. Great spot for a free kick. Basically an extended PK. The shot is deflected and over the head, out of play. Once again, Illinois Tech, one of the better spots for the PK. But on the shot attempt for the net, it was deflected off that wall for MSOE, and it kept Illinois Tech from opening the scoring. Here comes the corner. It's deflected away. It's actually headed away by Illinois Tech. And it's actually going to be a Scarlet Hawk corner. And it'll be Balea again. So Balea again will take the corner here from the southwest corner of Stuart Field. 4 Scarlet Hawks in front of the net. Krupa the tallest. They were aiming for Krupa, and Krupa actually made contact. Ball loose in front of the net. MSOE should be able to clear it, and they do. And what an effort by Smith to get that ball finally out of play and out of harm's way of the keeper, Asher Harris. Hippolito to throw in for Illinois Tech. Hippolito throwing in front of the awaiting reserves, Celio and Rorman. And now a foul. This will go against MSOE. Actually, I said Celio and Rorman reserves. They actually both started coming back into the matchup here. Here is Kogayudo. Kogayudo listed as a senior out of Zaragoza, Spain. Attended Whitney Young right here in the city of Chicago. And now he'll send it in. Kogayudo. That's a pretty good spot for Krupa. But his header is going to go high and wide out of play. And finally now, Rorman and Celio can re-enter the match for MSOE. As they'll replace Manchado is going to be one of the guys that comes off the pitch. And Aranda. So Aranda and Manchado, both who started the matchup, come out for 2 other players who started, in Rorman and Celio. We've really only seen LaDuca and Escobar out there for MSOE in terms of the reserves. And LaDuca out there now, number 14, out near midfield with the wrist wrapped up. As now here's MSOE on offense. They're actually trying to play the ball to LaDuca. And he comes away with it, does Joey LaDuca. Junior out of Naperville, Illinois. Ooh, Yelly with a header. He headed it right off Rebellato's face. Rebellato with a good run. He goes to the net. Rebellato going for goal. Harris got a hand on it. And that'll lead to another corner. Tomas Rebellato, certainly a gamer. Yelly with a header. The header from Yelly hit Rebellato right in the face. You can see Tomas checking his face as he's running towards the sideline here. And Tomas able to get one-on-one with Harris, and Rebellato just put it a little too far left, and it'll lead to the corner. We've played 70 minutes here at Stewart Field. The ball sent in. Harris, oh, that's over his head. Run down by Illinois Tech. Scarlet Hawks want a handball. They'll get a corner. And also Braden Smith with a bit of a gesture towards the Illinois Tech sideline after They didn't get they wanted a handball. The ball goes out of play. And the ball it'll lead to a quarter. Smith with a bit of a crying gesture towards that Illinois Tech bench. As now the ball sent in and sent right back out. Coach Marlon McKenzie literally asking, what are we looking at? He thought that was a clear handball. It's now Illinois Tech who go for another quarter. Ball sent in. There's Harris. He goes high. Definite handball there as he snatches it out of the sky to keep Illinois Tech from scoring. Here's Mill. Mill sends it back to Hippolito. Killen plays it over to Rohrman. Here's Thomas. Thomas sends it in. Looks to the middle of the pitch, trying to get a centering pass to Ladd. And now we got a player down for Illinois Tech holding his mouth. And now the ball sent in. A header opportunity for MSOE. And what a header. That ball's going to go high over the north fence at Stuart Field into the arms of a waiting fan across the street. What a header there. That was Celio that got up high for that header and just sent it well out of play. So Illinois Tech it's going to be Illinois Tech possession as the officials are having a word here on the pitch at Stewart Field. We're glad that you could join us here for Illinois Tech soccer action. This is NCAA Division III men's soccer here in the NAC. We are still in a scoreless tie as we speak, scoreless draw. The result at the moment, 17:46 on the clock and now counting as action resumes with Rodriguez. Playing it over to Hippolito. Ben Mill couldn't handle it, lost it out of play. MSOE throw in. Here's Rohrman. Rohrman and Celio both just came back in. They set up a shot attempt for Smith. Smith had it blocked. Celio played it back to Killen. And then cleared out by Krupa. Marlon McKenzie again to knock that one down. It'll be an MSOE throw in. Taken by Rohrman just behind the midfield stripe. Oh, Yelly almost a bit of a miss hit there. Sakira chased him down. Teo Sakira applying the pressure for Illinois Tech, trying to keep MSOE from getting out of the Illinois Tech attacking third. But unsuccessful as now MSOE sends it into their own attacking third. Oh, sliding effort knocks the ball away. A chance to go for goal again off that north fence. MSOE starting to get the attempts, but they're still about 20 feet wide or high of the net on some of the shots. Rodriguez getting ready to send the ball down here. Is Hippolito as the 74th minute continues. Rohrman played it back to Yelly. Harris is actually going to step up himself and send it down. LaDuca makes contact with his body. Celio sent it down. This time it'll be Celio. Tanner Celio knocks it down, the senior out of Overland, Kansas. Ball taken away by Theo Balea. MSOE in possession, working into their attacking third here. LaDuca unable to handle the touch. MSOE also now sending 4 players to sub in. Here's Sakira. Sakira makes a couple of moves, steps in around the defenders. He goes for goal, but he leaves it wide left. A couple of nice dribbles from Mateo Sakira, but he couldn't get the desired result for Illinois Tech as he's unable to score the goal. A number of subs here for MSOE. They got Nico Pica back in. Aranda's also coming back on here, along with Usini and Escobar. LaDuca, Killen, Ladd also come off the pitch, along with Thomas for MSOE. So now MSOE starting to get their starters back out there. And it'll be Rohrman on the throw. Rohrman into Yelly. It's played over to Wiley Wright, one of the reserves that's been out there the majority of the matchup. The first-year player out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. He sends it down. It leads to Pika. Pika with a chance to go for goal, and he just hits it too far right of the net. He had eyes on the goal, but the strike could not align with the vision, and now Illinois Tech will have the goal kick. Coach Marlon McKenzie telling his team, he's actually talking to Mateo Sakira there, telling him to analyze your options. As MSOE really did take advantage after a potential scoring opportunity from Illinois Tech. Ball out near midfield. Run down and possessed by Smith. He was chased by Kogayudo. Down to the end line, MSOE. The ball literally just died right there on the spot. Both guys made contact at the same time. And the end result was the ball just stopping, forced everyone to charge it, and now Illinois Tech takes over. Sakira leading Rebellato. Rebellato one-on-one with Harris. Harris with a bit of a miss hit as he comes out the penalty area. And now Harris goes down holding a knee. Rebellato goes down in the penalty area. No whistle, and now we just got players taking each other down, and now the foul called against Illinois Tech as Lazarevic knocked Rohrman down. Coach Marlon McKenzie not happy with his team's execution, and now Asher Harris is down holding a knee. He's been holding the knee for quite some time. He went one-on-one with Rebellato there, and it appeared that he may have taken some contact to the knee when Rebellato went around him. Or maybe it was a tough turn. Really was hard to see there. But Harris is currently down and being checked on by Mika Sanchez. Marlon McKenzie continuing to coach his team. He was unhappy, certainly unsatisfied with that finish from Illinois Tech, getting to the net and being unable to score. And then Rebellato just went one-on-one with the keeper, Harris. And you feel like if you're Illinois Tech, you have to take advantage of those opportunities if you're going to win this matchup. MSOE with 12 shots, Illinois Tech with 11. 3 of the 12 from MSOE on goal, 4 of the 11 from Illinois Tech on goal. Both teams have 6 corners. Interesting, MSOE was up 6-0 on the corner count earlier. And then, of course, the 1 yellow card against Peter Yelly. 6 fouls against both teams. 2 offside calls against MSOE, 1 against Illinois Tech. Asher Harris was down. He had to get his knee checked on by Mika Sanchez. And so it appears that Harris, obviously after having to be checked on there, might have to come off. He'll have to come off the pitch for quite some time. And so Asher Harris, he will head to the MSOE sideline. Is now the junior out of Lakewood, Illinois, number 35, Joey Moore. Now will come onto the pitch, and he will now go stand in the south goal for the Raiders. So Joey Moore comes into the matchup here. This will be his 7th appearance of the season. Moore has allowed 1 goal. He's got a 1.18 goal against average. And now he will step into the net here in the 78th minute for the MSOE Raiders. MSOE trying to play the ball at the pitch. Illinois Tech has their back line out near midfield. Here's MSOE on the switch, the pass. It goes wide, and now it's sent down by Mel. Mill over to Rebellato. Rebellato had it and lost it to Aranda. Here's a bit of a mishit from Smith, but he passes outside to Nico Pica. Celio goes wide. He sends it outside to Braden Roth. Roth working on Balea. Pass into the middle of the pitch. Taken away by Illinois Tech's Theo Balea. And now Sakaira. Now play back to Paul Balea. Now Illinois Tech in possession. A switch pass for Mill. And that's good spacing. Nothing but space for Mill. Illinois Tech working up the pitch. Lazarevic. Able to play it back. They get it to Mill. Over to Rebellato. That ball sent out of play towards that Illinois Tech sideline for a Scarlet Hawk throw-in. Joey Moore has only allowed one goal this season. That was back on October the 11th, so last Saturday. Ben Yang of Concordia University of Wisconsin with a goal. That was in MSOE's 6-1 win. That's the only time Moore has been beaten this year. Of course, this is his 7th appearance for MSOE. And Illinois Tech not really applying the pressure on the ball here that you've seen called for from Coach Marlon McKenzie. As now Wiley Wright plays it up the pitch. This is the 80th minute here at Stuart Field. Escobar. Ball sent down the pitch. Hippolito goes airborne. Jake Skiba runs it down. And Skiba clears it out. Both teams have had key players come off the pitch due to injury. We saw Asher Harris, the starting keeper for MSOE, leave in favor of Joey Moore after what appeared to be a knee injury. He did walk off the pitch, but Harris is standing on the sideline. Owen Gendrich comes into the match here. He'll replace Braden Smith. We've seen Owen Gendrich. We've seen Nate Gendrich. Owen is the only one to get into the matchup twice after being in a reserve to begin the match. Adrian Manchado getting ready to come back on for MSOE. And so is Watson for Illinois Tech. I was just getting ready to say, MSOE lost Asher Harris. Illinois Tech lost Watson, but Watson looks like he'll come back on now. Meanwhile, Manchado getting ready to check back in for MSOE. There's a Raiders corner. MSOE couldn't get the reserve in. They didn't like that the reserve didn't come onto the field. They wanted Manchado in for that corner. And now Illinois Tech sends the ball down the pitch. Yelly to Yuseni. Yuseni over to Aranda. The ball is going to go long to the corner. Aranda couldn't get there. There was a bit of a miscommunication between the officials. They didn't get Manchado in before that corner. And that Coach Rob Harrington, he wanted Manchado in there, and that sort of maybe messed up the strategy on the corner. He thought Manchado was standing there long before the corner was even set up. And it sort of disrupted the strategy there for the Raiders. Illinois Tech sends it down the pitch. It's Watson who's back in there. Watson also came off the pitch earlier with the ankle. We've seen Sakaira, we've seen Watson both go down holding ankles. We've seen Asher Harris, the keeper for MSOE, head to the sideline holding a knee. Luckily, everyone was able to walk off the pitch. And actually, Harris is standing now on the sideline. Final 8 minutes here. And it'll be more to resume the action for the Raiders. What a day at Stewart Field. The the possibility of going through 2 full matches today and only seeing maybe 1 goal in both. But sounds about right for MSOE versus Illinois Tech when you're talking about in soccer action. Here's Yelly. Yelly sends it down the pitch. Watson plays it over to Koga Yudo. This is an MSOE team that has scored 6 goals in each of their last 4 matches. And yet today here in Chicago, they're halfway through the 83rd minute without a goal. And not only without a goal, and shot total certainly very low for MSOE standards. Now, MSOE, a team with 216 shots on the season entering this matchup. They outshoot their opponents totally by 14 entering. Today, they actually still lead the shot battle, but it's close. It's 12-11. Here's Sakira. Sakira goes for goal! Mateo Sakira! Well, I was talking about the shot total. It was 12-11 MSOE. Sakira evens the shot total, but he puts Illinois Tech ahead on the scoreboard. Illinois Tech's leader in goals scored on the season, Mateo Sakira, strikes again, his 11th of the season. Mateo Sakira with his 11th goal of the season, and he gives Illinois Tech the 1-0 advantage here in the 84th minute. We talked about how Sakira has had 8 goals in conference play this season for Illinois Tech, and what a big time there. He adds another to give the Scarlet Hawks the 1-0 advantage late against MSOE. Wow, what a day here at Stuart Field. If results are to hold, it's Sakira in the 84th minute for the Scarlet Hawks. It was Tavessa Vathalia in the women's matchup to get the lone goal in the 86th minute, which pushed Illinois Tech to a win. Now here on the men's side, Mateo Sakira in the 84th minute could be the hero today for the Scarlet Hawks. Plenty of time for MSOE to rally back here, just under 6 minutes as we enter this 85th minute. Aranda plays it over to Celio. Ball sent right back out by Watson, and then attempted to be sent down by Theo Balea. But it goes out for a MSOE throw-in. MSOE was trying to get a pair of subs in there. The flag actually went up that time, but it was missed by the officials on the far side of the pitch, as now LaDuca and Ladd finally come in. They were standing there before this injury. MSOE trying to get the reserves. They're going to take, it'll be Juan Pablo Escobar one off and Danny Aranda the other. Here comes the corner from MSOE. Final 5 minutes to be played at Stewart Field. The ball sent in front of the net, headed away. That appeared to be Theo Balea, and it was. Watson missed contact. Manchado played it back to Celio. Celio, I'm not sure if that was an intended pass because he was falling, but he sends it over to Lachlan Ladd. And the ball goes over the inline for a Scarlet Hawk goal kick. So Illinois Tech they'll get the corner, they'll get the goal kick. As time continues to tick against MSOE, both teams leveled at 12 shots, but Illinois Tech has the advantage where it matters on the scoreboard, 1-0. Mateo Sakira in the 84th minute. Speaking of Sakira, here he is with the ball. He sends it in to Balea. Balea battling with Manchado. He plays it back outside. One Balea finds the other. There's Paul Balea who went in from Theo. There was plenty of contact towards the net. No whistle. As now Joey Moore has it. Illinois Tech. Certainly a lot of tension on that Scarlet Hawk sideline, but also tension on that MSOE sideline. Final 3.5 minutes to play here at Stuart Field. LaDuca over to Rohrman. Celio gave it up and then got it right back. Celio right around the ball. Good job by Tanner Celio. Illinois Tech just unable to get it out of traffic. Celio, number 21 in red, had about 3 or 4 different touches for MSOE. And now a whistle. Coach Marlon McKenzie trying to tighten his team up here. MSOE, they'll get a free kick with 2:40 and counting to go. Pika is waiting on the instructions here, along with Rohrman. Rohrman takes the charge. It's Pika who sends it in. Manchado with a header. Ball goes towards the net, and Rodriguez falls on it here. MSOE with a chance to go for goal, and now Rebellato appears to be hurt. And remember, Rebellato, he's been holding his face quite some time in this second half. Remember, he took the ball to the face earlier. And now Rebellato will come off the pitch. It will be Cal Graham in to replace Rebellato. Also, Stephen Thomas in for MSOE. There's been a few issues for MSOE with their sidelines. So they're going to put 2:30. So they're going to put 2:30 on the clock here for MSOE. As I was just getting ready to say, MSOE has some issues with the clock there. They thought the clock should have been stopped prior to that free kick. And also they've had an issue with some of the substitutions, the timing of some of the substitutions maybe coming after a corner or maybe coming a little bit later than the Raiders wanted. So the officials here following that play, they're going to correct the time. It's going to be 2:30 exactly remaining in the match. As they said, maybe too much time there running off the clock prior to the kick. And now action resumes with Rodriguez. Rodriguez puts the ball into the air. It's knocked down by Theo Balea. Balea over to Mel. Mel to Graham. Graham was trying to go to the corner. It'll be an MSOE throw. Final 2 minutes here at Stewart Field. Can the Scarlet Hawks pull off the doubleheader sweep against the MSOE Raiders? Here's Cal Graham into that corner, and I wouldn't be surprised if Illinois Tech sends it to that southwest corner every time they touch it here. Here's Mill with 100 seconds. He gives it up to Graham. Ball taken away by MSOE. Hippolito, bit of a whiff swing, really was just faking there, and that's going to let the clock run. Hippolito to throw it in. He sends it long. Rohrman on the header. And the ball headed back towards that southeast corner, that southwest corner. Lazarevic runs it to the end line and out of play. Once again, Illinois Tech just running straight to that southwest corner. And now the ball to the southeast side of the pitch. Here's Manchado. Final minute, and we got a whistle behind the play. The clock should stop here at 58 seconds and a yellow card. So 58 seconds to go. And Coach Rob Harrington, I don't think he liked that stoppage for the card because it's the final minute of the match. And now you stop what could have been a possible counter opportunity for MSOE. Here's Rohrman. It's played in the air by Hippolito. Knocked down by Pika. Pika outside to Manchado. And cleared out of play by Paul Balea. MSOE, time becoming an enemy here. Final 35 seconds. They throw it in. They get the keeper Moore out near midfield now to add to the attack. The ball gets knocked away. Oh, Moore was backpedaling, so that's going to take a few more seconds off the clock. Now Moore sends it in to Rodriguez, and the keeper catches it out of the air and falls on it. And the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks, they can feel it here at Stuart Field as the 10-second count goes on. Rodriguez puts the ball high into the air, and the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks, thanks to an 84th minute goal from Mateo Sakira, defeat the MSOE Raiders 1-0.
Your final score here from Stuart Field, Illinois Tech 1, MSOE 0.
The Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks pull off the doubleheader sweep over the MSOE Raiders. It was Tavessa Vathalia in the 86th minute in the women's matchup. And then here in the 84th minute of the men's matchup is Mateo Sakira, which gives the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks the win, and the Scarlet Hawks now improve to 8-5-3 on the season. They go to 5-3-2 in conference play, and it gives the Scarlet Hawks a tiebreaker over the second best team in the conference, as now MSOE falls to 7-2-1 in conference play. They now fall to 10-4-2 on the season. Illinois Tech with a disciplined output over MSOE today. MSOE had scored 6 goals in each of their last 4 matches. Their 5-match win streak comes to an end as Illinois Tech gets a huge conference win on both sides of the ledger to win 1-0 in women's and men's action today at Stuart Field. For all of our crew here at Stuart Field, we'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. For Eric Willowhite, Ryan Cantlin, and all of our Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawk crew, I'm Chris Rouse. This has been Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Soccer here on YouTube Live and on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Our next presentation, October the 29th, when the Scarlet Hawks take on the Rockford Regents right here at Stuart Field. Once again, the final. In women's soccer, 1-0 Illinois Tech over MSOE. In men's soccer, 1-0 Illinois Tech over MSOE. Scarlet Hawks sweep the doubleheader. So long from Chicago, where the Scarlet Hawks are winners in both women's and men's soccer here at Stuart Field.